Good morning, everyone. So, in the last class, we are trying to discuss JDBC annotation example, and along with this particular annotation, we identified template related information like JDBC template and named parameters template and simple JDBC template. So, this particular three templates we identified here. So, today we are going to discuss one of the important concept here, Hibernate. So, first we'll try to focus on the Hibernate information here. So later we are going to discuss with how we can integrate the Hibernate with the Spring. So give me 1 second. I'm going to get one call. Okay. So observe carefully. Now, so first we'll discuss what are the important concepts are available in the Hibernate. So later we can discuss with the Spring Hibernate here. Okay. Now back to here to discuss this particular the basic Hibernate concepts here. What I want to do, I want to create one more package here. So inside this particular package, we can understand how Hibernate is going to communicate. So let me create a package, something called Hibernate. Okay. So whatever the classes we are going to create, so we'll create inside this particular package. Back to here. Now, so what I want to provide here, first we need to understand this particular object and relation persistence here. Getting the point. So basically, whenever we are trying to work with this particular database related information here, what we need to do, we need to understand how exactly the data is going to communicate here. And so previous technologies, what are the drawbacks we identified here? And using this particular Hibernate, so what are the advantages we are going to get? So we need to understand first here. So why this particular Hibernate is introduced, we are going to have an idea. Getting the point. So to understand here, first what we need to do, so we need to understand the object and relational persistence. So relational persistence is nothing but how these particular objects are going to create it with database tables and columns here. So in the previous technologies, how it is happened, using the Hibernate, how it is working right now. Right. So what are the previous technology before introducing this particular Hibernate? So we are having SQL here. Getting the point. So using this particular SQL, so like how we are going to communicate it here, and how we provided the classes like the model classes and how the data is going to communicate it. Now we are going to understand here. Right. So basically, Hibernate is it's a complete solution for the problem of persistence of data in Java. Not only Java, so it whenever like wherever we are trying to work with this particular Hibernate, so which is going to provide the complete solution for this particular relational database, as well as whenever trying to work with persistence data here. So persistence data is nothing but whenever we are trying to store the data or whenever we are trying to communicate with any database here. So how we are trying to show like sharing the data between our business logic to our databases here. So this concept we are going to call as a persistence here. Right now, so this kind of problem is going to, so like we are going to have a complete solution. We are going to have the complete solution for this particular persistence information. So basically here, see, Hibernate is going to work. Hibernate also is going to support the Java. Along with Java, we can work with other framework like other technologies also. Basically, it is one of the ORM tools here. So we can work with any other languages also. Right. So back to here. Now, what I want to do. So as I explained here, this Hibernate is going to provide the complete solution for this particular persistence here. basically what exactly it's going to happen internally. So Hibernate is going to mediate the application interaction between the relation database here. Getting the point. So basically what happens internally, so whatever the business logic we are going to define, and using this particular business logic here, Hibernate is going to mediate like it's going to provide the communication between the business logic and our database here. And here, as a developer, so we don't want to like work on the more information on the relational database side, because the Hibernate is going to take care of the everything here. The communication related everything is going to take care of here. So we need to focus more on the to implement our business logic here. Right. So these are the one more advantage we are going to get whenever we are trying to work with the Hibernate here. And so here, one more, we don't want to follow the specifically, basically any ORM like the relation mapping tool. So each and every ORM we are going to have some specific rule here, and we don't want to focus on the more on the specific rule here. And whatever the model classes and whatever the relational tables we are going to create, so that is enough. By default, the string like Hibernate is going to take care of the configuration and everything, and it's going to provide the communication between our model classes and relational tables here. So these are the advantages we are going to get whenever we are trying to work with this particular Hibernate here. But we need to understand here, so before going to start this particular Hibernate here, how this particular the core problems are resolved here. Right, what are the core problems so we identified in the previous the particular database related technologies. So something called, so we need to discuss more on the SQL here. So how exactly, like what are the problems we faced using this particular SQL, and how exactly the problems are going to solved by this particular Hibernate here. Right, now understand here what we need to do. So basically, whenever we are trying to work with this particular SQL, what we are going to do, so we'll try to check with JDBC, Java, and SQL. So these are the three main technologies we are going to communicate to develop the application here. Getting the point. So we already identified when we are trying to work with the Servlet, JSP, and the JDBC. So using the JDBC, so we are going to communicate with our SQL. Like you are going to communicating with the database using the SQL here, the structural query language here. Now, so what are the drawbacks we identified whenever we are trying to work with the SQL here? Getting the point. So basically, what are the drawbacks we are going to identify? So we'll have a simple example here. So to understand here, I want to provide. So MS Paint. So as I explained here, so basically what exactly this persistence is nothing but we are going to store the data into the relational database here. So using the SQL or so the modern technology, now we are going to discuss the Hibernate here. Right. Now back to here. So what exactly the SQL we are having the problem here? Getting the point. So now you can see. So we are having two classes here. The first one, I will explain this particular two classes information. Getting the point. So we need to understand this particular relational database here. So what exactly this particular relational database contains here? So relational database, so it is not specific to the any Java, and it is not specific to the any particular application here. So this particular relational technology is going to provide the way of sharing this particular data, way of sharing the data along with the different application and with the different technologies here. Getting the point. So very carefully we need to understand here. So what exactly this particular relational database management contains here. Now what you are understanding here. So it's going to provide some specification here. So how we are going to communicate with our application with the different technologies here. And when we are trying to communicate with the different technologies here, we need to understand how this particular data is going to share. So this is going to provided by our relational database here. Right. And we identified here persistence information. So persistence information is nothing but what exactly this particular persistence is contained here. Normally, what happens internally? We are going to store the data. Getting the point. We are going to we are going to store the data using our relational database here. So ORM is one of the relational database we can call, because so it is a one kind of the technology. So using this particular technology, we are going to communicate with the different databases, right? So here we are going to have the particular language called HQL. Getting the point. Whenever we are trying to communicate with the Hibernate, internally we are going to communicate with the HQL here. So Hibernate query language here. So we'll understand more about this particular Hibernate query language in our upcoming classes here. So these two we need to understand very carefully. One is the persistence and one more relational database here. Getting the point. So to understand this particular scale, so first we need to understand here, like what are the drawbacks we identified. So basically using this particular scale, what we are going to have. Basically using this particular scale, normally what we are going to do, we try to communicate with the DDL commands and DML commands here. Right. So we are going to communicate with we are going to work on this particular scale using this particular commands called DML. So initially we are going to work with DDL and DML. So what exactly is this particular DDL contain? So the data definition language contained here. So we'll try to insert the data, or we'll try to create the table, or we'll try to alter the table here. So using this particular DDL, so what exactly we are going to create here? So in here we'll have create or alter here. Getting the point. So we are going to create a table, or we are going to alter the table here. So along with table altering, we are going to communicate with the indexes and sequences and so on. So this section we are going to have inside this particular DDL. And same way, we are going to work with the DML. Getting the point. So what exactly we are going to have when we are going to work with the DML? So this particular data manipulation language here, what we are going to do, we'll try to work on the insertion and updation and deletion here. Something called insertion and so we'll have an update and so deletion. So this section, it comes under the DML. And if you are having any specific conditions here, what we are going to do, so we are going to have some restrictions here. So that is, we are going to work with the joins here. Getting the point. So using the joins, so we are going to load some specific records here. So that is, we are already aware of it when we are trying to discuss, like when we are having SQL knowledge here. So to find out the specific records here, what we are going to do, we'll have a joins information. So this particular join section also we are going to have in the Hibernate. So we'll discuss more on this particular joins. Okay. So back to here, and we are having more specific into this particular scale. So what we are going to do, we'll have a group by, so order. Getting the point. So these also we are going to use. Right, these are the sections we are going to work inside this particular DML. So basically, so this particular data manipulation language, what it contains here. So after creating this particular table or altering the table, we are going to work with insertion or updation and deletion. And along with these three, we are going to have loading the object from the database. So while loading an object here, we are going to have different kind of restrictions here. So to work on this particular restrictions here, what we are going to do, so first we are going to work with the join, and later we are going to work with the order by, or so we are going to work with the group by. Getting the point. So these are the specific conditions here. Based on these conditions, what we are doing here, we are going to load an object from the database here. So this section we are already aware of it when we are so these are comes under the SQL here. Right. Now we need to understand here, so what exactly the problem we are going to get when we are trying to work on this particular SQL languages here. So getting the point. So what exactly the problem we are going to face here? So observe here, So basically, when we are trying to work on this particular SQL, some like many years, so we are going to have more knowledge on the DDL command or DML command and everything. So sometimes it is hard to remember this particular conditions related, the DMS related information here. Getting the point. So like we need to understand the order by and the group by, or if we want to work on this, some joins here. So sometimes, so it is hard to remember or it's hard to, so provide the condition, like provide the joins between the more than one table here. So like we need to understand here how, like what are the problems we are going to face here. The simple example, observe here. So I want to write a simple example here. The first one, we are having, so user class here. And another one I'm having, so billing details. So now you can imagine, so while developing one e-commerce application here, so basically this single user can contain billing information here, right? So I'm trying to define the user object. Along with the user, I'm trying to define the billing details here. So just imagine we are developing the e-commerce application here. So this particular user contains some of the properties information. So what are the properties information? Username. Getting the point. Now you can understand here and so private string, name of the user, and something called address. And you can imagine here, so the user can contain more than one billing address. The user can contain more than one billing address. So how we are going to work here? So basically, when we are trying to define the join section here, so we are going to work with the set. This particular set is nothing but it's going to return the more billing address information, right? So here we are going to define the set here, and the reference I'm trying to define something called billing details. Now I want to define this particular billing details here. And here we are going to have setters and getters. So same way, we are going to work with this particular billing details. So whenever we are trying to work with the billing details here, we are going to have some properties. So what are the properties we are having? Something called account number. So billing account number and so private account name and account type. So these are the billing information. And so here we need to specify this particular billing information contained to which user. So here this particular billing information having only one user. So carefully observe the relation how I'm making here. Billing details we are going to get as a multiple, but user we are going to have only one. Now what we are understanding here, so whenever we are trying to communicate with the user to billing details, so here we are having one to many, right? One to many. Same way this is applicable to the reverse here. This is applicable to the reverse. So many billing details will contain to the one user. So one user can contain the many billing details. So observe carefully how we are having this particular relation. And here what we are doing is we are making the, so both the directions here. Getting the point. We are making the both direction is nothing but, so we are trying to add the billing detail section along with this particular user section here. Right. So how we are going to create the table? Getting the point. So this is important because we are trying to find out the drawbacks in the SQL here. Whenever we are trying to work with SQL, so we need to create the table manually. So if we need to create the table manually, what we need to do? So we need to specify the table section and observe how we are going to create the table. So basically, create table called user. So I'm trying to add only one column because you can imagine based on all the properties we are going to define the columns. The first one, username, something called varchar 50, and I want to make some condition, something called not null and primary key. So this section we are going to specify. Getting the point. So whenever we are trying to create the user table, the username we are having the primary key information, and later we are going to have some other columns here, something called varchar 50 and not null and so varchar. So this also we are going to specify the 50 and not null. Finally, billing address. So for this particular billing address, how we are going to specify? In the user, we don't have any information. Getting the point. In the user, we are not going to specify this particular billing information. So where we are going to specify? Observe carefully when we are trying to. So when we are trying to discuss with this particular section of billing details, so here we are going to specify the create a table, something called billing details. Here we need to specify the something called account number. I want to specify. So varchar 10 and not null primary key. And whenever we are trying to define this particular billing details here, we are going to have the foreign key references. So the foreign key references, we are going to make the username, something called varchar 50 so foreign key, and which is going to reference to the user table. User table. Getting the point. So now we need to understand here how we are creating the table. So in the billing details section, we are trying to provide this particular username information here as a foreign key here. Right. So this is important here. Now, what are the drawbacks we are going to do? Observe carefully. So this address section, what we are doing here, we are making as a string here. Whenever we are trying to make this particular address as a string, what we are doing internally, we are creating this particular address using this particular var column is nothing but we are making the single column. So sometimes what happens here in the real-time application, address cannot contain the single column. So it's going to contain the more information like what is the city and what is the state and what is the country and what is the zip code. So these are the sections we are going to have inside this particular address here. But now if I want to add here, what I need to do? Getting the point. So now you can understand here. So I'm going to add this particular address section here. We need to create one more address model class and again, so it is required to provide this particular address table here. So is it required? So without using this particular address table here, so we are going to specify the columns here. Getting the point. So we can work on this particular column using this particular references information here. But now what we need to do? Again, we need to alter the table Getting the point? We need to alter the table to provide the individual columns or to make a reference of this particular address table here. To make a reference of this particular address table here. So this is the one of the problem we are going to face when we are trying to work with this particular SQL here. Getting the point? Basically, we are having the choice here. So we can work with several columns or we can work with a single column here. The single column we already defined here. Now we can imagine. So now you can imagine whenever we are trying to work with multiple columns here, what we need to do. So again, we need to alter the table to insert the multiple columns. Or if we are going to work with modular class here. So what is the modular class we are going to create here? So again, if I am going to create here the address table, address class here. Getting the point? What we need to do? We need to create a one more table and we need to join the address to this particular user. And here, instead of creating a new table here, what we can do, so adding a new data type to this particular address, so it is easy to getting the point. Basically, we can go for the address class here, and in our database here, what we can do, we can provide the single column here. So what is the single column we are going to create here? The reference, the address table reference we are going to provide here. But how we are going to work here? So using the user defined column types here. So UDT we are going to call, so which is available inside this particular SQL database management system. The using this particular UDT we are going to provide the newly created column here. So that is called the reference of this particular table here. Right. So basically here we are going to have the problem here. But the creating a new column, what we need to do? We need to alter the table and we need to make the reference to the address table. So everything we need to done by the manually. And same way you can imagine whenever we are having the billing address also. So this particular billing address which contain another information. So what is another information here? Imagine if I'm going to specify here. So if I'm going to specify something called credit card information or bank account information. So basically we are trying to work with the account number and account name and account type. So instead of working directly to the billing address, what we can do, if I'm going to write here, so one more section here, two sections here. The first one here, credit card. And bank details is nothing but bank account. Right. So imagine here, whenever we are trying to work on the two other tables here. So these two sections are available to this particular billing details section. So these are the subclasses. These are the subclasses to this particular billing details. Again, what we need to do? Again, we need to alter the table because we need to make the relationship between these two classes here. Credit card and bank account here. So these are the very important sections of the problems we are going to have here. And to understand this particular drawbacks here, how we are going to achieve here. So now we need to focus on the more how we can address this particular information. How we can address this particular information using Hibernate here. Getting the point. So we need to understand how this particular Hibernate is going to provide the more information on the. So just I'm giving the simple example here because we are having more drawbacks compared to the Hibernate and SQL here. Getting the point. So just for understanding here, I'm trying to provide this simple example here. Whenever we are trying to work on the, so like dynamic classes if we create here, so how we need to alter the table and how we need to add the columns into the existing tables here. So this way we're having the very important drawback here. Basically now we are thinking we're having only three tables here, but in the real time, so we are going to create a more than one table here. Just imagine if I'm trying to alter each and every table, how many days it's going to take here. for adding a new column or by creating a new what we can call it as a table here and everything here. Right. So we need to make automation of this particular joins here. Whenever we are trying to work on the new data type here, like new data type is nothing but whenever we are trying to work with a new class in the model class, so directly we need to make the relation between the two tables here. Like whatever the tables we are having the relation, we want to make the particular relation automatically. So this section we'll see whenever we are trying to work with this particular Hibernate here. So observe here, to work on this particular Hibernate here, first what we need to do, we already identified this particular relation mapping, how it is working here. So we need to focus on the simple example. We need to focus on the simple example, how this particular Hibernate is going to work. So to understand here, we need to create a one class here. I want to create a one class here. Let me create a one class inside this particular package. Class called message. Observe how I'm trying to create this particular message here. Inside this particular message, I want to provide some properties. And I want to provide the ID of this particular message and provide so text. And observe carefully, we are having an ID and we are having text here. So here I want to provide one more message. So it's nothing but I'm trying to reference to the another message. Getting the point. So to make another reference here, what I want to do, I want to make a message here. So next message. Next message. So observe carefully. Even though we are into the same class, but now what we are doing here, we are trying to make the next message references here. So by default, the same class will have internal join here. Okay. So we'll observe how exactly which is going to work. I want to provide the constructor. Right. So here what I want to do, I want to change to the local to instance variable. So observe here, after adding this particular constructor, I want to generate so this particular setters and getters here. ID, next message and text here. Cutting the point. So we are having the constructor and we are having setter method. So just imagine this is the one model class. So basically in the real-time application, so we are going to create model classes here. So this particular model class will have tables here. Based on this particular classes, we are going to have the business logic here. And now understand here, so this particular message class having three properties here. Getting the point. So what exactly the three properties we are having? The first one is a ID, and the second one is a text here, and another one is the message is going to have another message. Like it's nothing but we are referring to the another message object here. So we need to understand here. So basically, the application access to the database here, first what we need to do, we need to create the primary key value. Carrying the point. So first we need to provide the primary key value, and so that we can easily understand here, so how this particular message is referencing to the another message here. Right, the primary key, how we are going to access here, using this particular long data type here. Okay, back to here. So what we need to do? Basically, whenever we are trying to work with this particular message here, so how we are going to add the message here? We'll create an object of this particular message, and by creating this particular message object, we are going to specify this particular text message, and we will print this particular text message by calling this particular get text. Getting the point. Now, so I want to save this particular message information. So to save this particular message information into the database here, what we need to do? Getting the point. So we need to work on the mapping file, because Hibernate, so we are going to have more information, like whenever we are trying to specify the mapping file. So whenever we are trying to specify the mapping file here, what happens here? The Hibernate is going to create a table for this particular object class. So to understand here, I want to create a one mapping file here. So observe carefully. Let me go for the XML. So what I want to specify here. So message name of this particular mapping file. So message mapping. And understand here. So we want to provide this particular mapping information. Let me copy from the mapping file here. So let me. Okay. So we'll have a simple example on this particular primitive types and wrapper classes here. So just wait a couple of minutes here. We'll try to focus on this particular primitive or wrapper. And now understand here. So I want to create a mapping file here. To create a mapping file here, what I want to do. So basically, we need to add a Hibernate mapping DTD. So whenever we are trying to add this particular Hibernate mapping DTD, so we are going to have some different tags here. We need to discuss more on this particular tags here. So to add this particular DTD, what I want to do, I want to go for this particular Google Help. So otherwise, let me check anything I'm going to have inside the Hibernate configuration. Okay. Here I'm trying to have this particular mapping information. So this particular mapping file we need to save. Back to here. So this is a DTD file we need to copy. So this particular DTD file contains, these are the mapping section and class information and ID. So generator, we are going to discuss more on the generator in our upcoming classes. So properties. Cutting the point. So observe carefully what I am doing here. And here we are having the package called com.javatechnology. Hibernate.message. Right. So up to this is the package name. Right. So this is the name of the class. The name of the class we are having message. So what is the table name we want to create? Here we can specify the particular table name, so that the table is going to create it. And later ID. The ID property, we are having the same thing, something called ID. Long ID, we specified as a ID. Same thing I want to map to the column name. Right. So whenever we are trying to provide the ID name like this, so internally the column also we are going to have ID. So otherwise, what we can do? So now you can see, you can specify the column, you can define the whatever the column you want to specify. Something called message underscore message underscore ID. Right. Now, so another property. What is another property we are having? Something called text here. And what is the column I want to create in the table? What is the column I want to create in the table? Something called message text. Getting the point. So now you can understand here, I want to provide the one more here. Basically, what we are doing here, we are having, so joins relation here is nothing but we are going to have, again internally, we are trying to connect it with the message here. So this particular property, which is indicating here, some joins related information. Right. So we'll have how we can create this particular next message information here. So back to here, to work on this particular information, we need to create a, so join something called many to one. So here we need to work on the many to one. And what is the name we are having? Something called next message. The name of this particular many to one join we are having next message. And here I want to provide the all operations here, something called cascade. Whenever we are trying to specify this particular cascade here, all. So what happens internally? Whenever we are trying to delete or update or insert, so this particular dependent table also is going to update it and deleted here. And so we'll discuss more on this particular cascade in our upcoming classes here. And later we want to check with the column here. The column also I want to provide next message ID. Next message ID. Right. Now understand very carefully here what we are doing here. So see carefully, whenever we are trying to create any model class, here, what happens internally? We are going to have mapping file. So for this particular class, we are going to have one mapping file here. And so what is the class we are having? So we need to specify with the fully packaged name. And later we need to work on what is the table we are trying to create. And ID information. So increment is nothing but the value which is going to incremented automatically. So we'll discuss more on this particular generator in our upcoming classes. And we are having one more property, something called property is nothing but one column we are going to create here based on this particular Java property. Right. And later we are having one join relation here. So this is all about the mapping configuration. Right. So whenever we are having this particular mapping configuration, so what we can do, basically after mapping here, we need to work on the connection related information. Getting the point. To work on this particular connection related information, so what I want to do, we want to check with the session factory and do session related information. Right. So to understand this particular session factory and session related information, so first what we need to do, we need to discuss more on what exactly this particular session will contain and the session factory will contain here. Okay, so before going to start this particular session factory information, observe, let me create a configuration file. We want to create a configuration file. Sorry. So here I want to create Hibernate configuration. Right. So this Hibernate configuration, what exactly the Hibernate configuration will contain here? Now you can see, so what is the configuration we are having here? Getting the point. So carefully observe here. So we are having the configuration DTD we need to copy, and previously the mapping DTD we copied here. Getting the point. So previously we copied the mapping DTD. Now we are trying to copy the Hibernate configuration. Getting the point. Hibernate configuration we are copying here. So whenever we are trying to copy this particular Hibernate configuration, so these many tags we are going to get. So these many tags we are going to get. If you are not adding this particular DTD, we cannot work on this particular Hibernate configuration and the session factory. Getting the point. So carefully observe here what I am doing here. So whenever we are trying to work on this particular configuration, we need to understand here the session factory tag and the configuration tag here. Right. So these are the two information we need to focus here. Basically, the Hibernate configuration, what it will do. So whatever the information we are going to specify based on this particular information, so which is going to connect to the database here. Right. And each database we are going to have each application, not the database here. So each application we are going to have one session factory. Right. So here, so this particular session factory will contain the connection related information here. This particular session factory will contain the connection related information here. So we'll have this particular HBM to DDL drop, this particular properties we'll discuss in our upcoming classes here. So just we need to focus on the simple example here. So later we are going to have more information, each and every property. So dilate, and we identified here the connection URL here. So to understand this particular connection URL, we need to focus on the whether this particular schema is available or not. Hibernate example here. So we need to focus on this particular Hibernate example schema is available or not. So if it is not available, what we need to do? We need to create a schema in the Postgres database here. So let me open this particular dweaver, and now you can see mapping resource. So what we are doing here? This particular mapping resource will contain so what kind of object we want to create. So just now we created this particular mapping section called message mapping, and so here we missed like the particular. So make the rename here HBM. So Hibernate mapping dot HBM dot XML. So which is going to change in the all the location. So we are having Hibernate example here. So to create this particular schema, what we need to do? How many schemas we are having? We are having Hibernate, personal, and PG public. Okay. So we are having these many tables inside this particular Hibernate schema. So let me delete all the tables here. Right, inside this particular Hibernate schema, we deleted all the tables here. So inside this particular personal, yeah, we'll keep as it is. So we'll go for the public. Let me delete here all the tables. Right, now we can understand here. So how we can create one more schema here. This particular Postgres here. So local host we are creating here, and database I want to provide as a Hibernate EX. So Hibernate EX. Username Postgres. Password we need to specify here something called Java technology. Using this, we can create one more database connection here. So we are working on the local host here and the port. So this is a Postgres port here. Now understand, click on the finish here. So now you can see we are having Hibernate EX here. Hibernate EX here. So same way we created for the remaining also. And now we can understand here. So this particular database does not exist here. What happens here? Hibernate. Why this database is not created? Edit connection. HTTP does not allow. Let me provide connect is not available. One second, I want to create a new database. So I'm not creating it. Connect to Hibernate, it does not exist. So connection. Browse from here, connection view. So here something we are missing. Let me check here. Localhost Postgres. Development advanced description. Upload. think this is going to here. Okay, so I will let you know tomorrow. Basically, something we are missing. So like how we created the same way we are going to get a database here. But why I'm not getting here? Disable database connection. Okay, I will update you tomorrow like why this database is not creating it. So I need to do some research on this. So I will update you tomorrow and we'll continue the same example. So we created the configuration file. Basically, I want to change here. The schema I want to change. So whatever the schema we are going to create newly, the schema we are going to use. And so we need to understand here how this particular message object is going to created automatically. So this particular message table, how it's going to create it internally. So this section we are going to discuss in tomorrow. And we need to create only one main class. And after this, we need to add Hibernate related jars here. So these two are the pending. So we will discuss in tomorrow this particular jars and the database configuration. Okay. If anyone having any queries, so we can discuss in tomorrow. Because once this example is completed, we'll try to focus on your queries.